Hi. Welcome to the flippin' remix of the Cell intro you may have seen 2 days ago. If you haven't seen it, don't. Hopefully today we'll package the information in a way that makes more sense and is probably slightly clearer and less awkward than it was in the last video. But once again, if you haven't seen the video, don't. This is an animal cell. It pretty much represents what most living cells would look like. So we're going to begin here. In some later videos, we'll take a look at a plant cell and see how they slightly differ from one another. At the outside of the cell, always a good place to start, is the cell membrane. The important thing to remember about the cell membrane are two things. The first thing is it contains all the organelles of a cell. If there was no membrane, then basically you'd have these bits of cells floating around in space and liquids and just spreading itself around and I'll stay on track now. So they keep things contained, the organelles, the little bits of the cell, inside its own space. That's like the human body on the outside. The second thing, and perhaps one of the most important things, is remembering that living cells have a semi-permeable membrane. What does that mean? It means that the membrane only allows certain molecules, enzymes, or chemicals to enter into the cell, thereby protecting the cell. Think of the membrane as kind of like the fence to the outside of your house. Remember when you were a kid, you could maybe squeeze through some of the planks and there'd be a little bit of an opening and certain things could get in. But as you got bigger, like beefier, or in some words, tunkier, you found it more difficult to get into that fence, or through the fence is a better way to say it. Now, that's pretty much what a semi-permeable membrane is. It has certain openings to allow only for certain molecules to enter the cell. Now sometimes, like all fences, there's a front gate. In our case, that front gate will be opened by a protein, or, in real life, maybe a real human being, or a bodyguard, or a bouncer, or someone large. Tank. In this case, a protein would open one of the doors and allow forcibly escorting in one of the molecules that the cell would actually need. So, to conclude very quickly, there are two things you must remember. First, the membrane allows all the organelles and the bits of the cell to stay inside. The second thing you need to remember is that it protects the cell, allowing only certain molecules to enter while leaving other ones on the outside.